It's a big week at Truman Lake with the Toyota Series event kicking off on Thursday, and we've got your latest Truman Lake fishing report. It's courtesy of Tackle HD and presented by FISH30's Dave McCormick.
Well, welcome to another Truman Lake fishing report. Yep, it's a big week on Truman Lake. I don't know, I can't remember the last time we had a national-sized event come to Truman Lake. So this Thursday starts the Toyota Series. So good luck to all those guys who are in that tournament. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to be, but I got a day job still, and it's not going to let me have that much time off in the middle of the week. It just isn't. So the lake's in an interesting position. It's like 703, high 703s, low 704s. It's a lot of wood showing. So I think that's a good thing. That'll, when it's not showing on this kind of lake is when you really get, there's a certain level of this lake. If those guys were all here and you didn't see much of the timber, you wouldn't know the danger. So I don't know. I'm torn here between the shallow bite and the offshore bite, which is fairly familiar. We're kind of having a warm September, so I'm wondering how many fish are holding out there in those brush piles or offshore. But yet I have caught some fish shallow. I got a video I'm working on right now. I'm going to put an insert right up here right now. Those fish aren't good. And that's definitely an interesting technique on Truman, to walk the dog. A lot of hybrids, good way to catch a lot of fish. So that's in a video that I'm working on right now, and I probably will not get it out between now and then. But let's talk about what my picks would be if I was out in this Toyota Series. So if I was out brush pile fishing, they're still loving the worm. I'm gonna tell you, if I knew there was a lot of guys fishing, I might come right in behind everybody with a smaller straight tail worm in those same brush piles, depending on the water clarity. And the water clarity has been very clear for Truman Lake. It still has color. Truman isn't a table rock. It's not a white river, This is the Osage River, so it's gonna have some color. But this is clean for Truman, gang. I don't know if y'all saw that last video. I saw schooling fish just 2 weeks ago. So that's always in the back of my mind. That stuff is hard to turn off once it starts. So will the guys catch them out in the trees? That's another really good question. Of course, I'm going to use a big 10-inch worm when I get out there. But if I'm still offshore, fishing offshore, one of my favorites is going to be a football jig. Truman Lake has an incredible green-eared sunfish population, and the bass don't like them. So those would be my picks: a worm and a jig for the offshore stuff. Let's talk about the shallow stuff, because that's the stuff that I'm betting that somebody finds up some creek. This lake is really big, 55,000 acres. But a lot of it isn't fished by us tournament anglers. So maybe it takes a national event to come down here and show us our own lake, which I'm kind of excited about. So that was the bait I was throwing in that video insert. Just a walking style. That's like a pencil popper style, where it has a little concave nose, so it splashes a little bit more when you walk the dog. Kind of a neat one. If it's a chopping style bait. Those are my super shallow baits. And then there are two baits that I will throw up shallow even. When I get in the back of those creeks and I get around laydowns, I see a big laydown hanging off the bank. Oh, the old square bill is screaming at me. Make a few passes down that. I might even use that straight tail worm or Cinco style worm right down that laydown. And of course, if you've watched my videos recently, that's a really big September bait for me out in the timber. That's the other variable. If somebody really dials in that timber bite, that's something obviously we have lots of at Truman Lake. So I'm torn, much as the fall fishing is. That's a good tournament angler is able to do several things. He's able to always change. if you're doing something and you're not getting the bites you want to get, but you were getting them a couple days ago doing that, I stop sometimes, and it's just not me. It's Gary and Joe, and we all kind of group our minds when we're out there in that boat, and what's the polar opposite? What is the opposite way of fishing than what we're doing right now? And we come to a conclusion of what it is, and we go do it. To be able to flip-flop back and forth like that on Truman Lake is important. So if it's not working, change. That's what you got all those lures in that tackle box for, and that's why you got all these silly fishing poles. So take a kid fishing. Good luck to all those Toyota Series anglers. I don't know. I'm really wondering if somebody won't pull a giant sack out of a couple way up creeks, way off from where they're taking off from. It's a big lake. I mean, you can literally drive your boat 50 or 60 miles away from the launch ramp. So be very curious to see how this goes down. Good luck. Enjoy. Get out and fish.